Hi, chums. So today I'm doing a video about the unethical research being conducted by Tomb Raider, Frances Widdowson, and her posse. So if you don't know what I mean by Tomb Raider, I can show you quickly an image that explains it. Tomb Raider Tamara Leach explained it for us recently, just the other day. Okay, so moving on. So Frances Widdowson was terminated from her tenured position at Mount Royal University in Calgary. And they really dodged a bullet because Frances Widdowson is out here conducting all kinds of unethical research. She's touring university campuses and she's conducting unethical research on their premises. So to show you what I mean by that, I have another image. Okay, so now I'll tell you a little bit about what I mean by unethical research. So Frances Widdowson claims to be a trained academic and thinking person who reads. So I definitely have to disagree with that based on what I've seen recently. So Frances Widdowson has taken it upon herself to organize a tour of campuses that are near former Indian residential schools. And conducting this unethical research. I mean, at first, like this whole this whole thing at the University of Manitoba, Winnipeg, whatever, I thought that they were invited there. I thought that they were having a talk. I thought that she was speaking, to an audience who wanted to engage with her, and who had been informed about what the engagement would be like and all these kinds of things. You would assume this of somebody who claims to be a trained academic, okay? Now, with this new one here over at Thompson Rivers University in BC, I realize that none of those things are true and that this person is just showing up uninvited. And this person is just ambushing Indigenous survivors and traumatizing them and terrorizing them. So here is a bit about the research, okay? So then, when you are a researcher and you're conducting research and you're trained, you know better, and that you must, make sure that you're conducting your research in a transparent way, in an accountable way, right? And so then that would be like transparency about your research phases and this kind of thing. So what are your intentions? What is your methodology? All these kinds of things. And, I'm making assumptions here and I invite Frances to, publish a rebuttal, but it seems pretty clear to me that she hasn't explained to anyone what her intentions or her methodology is. And so then, there's obviously been no ethical review of the research design, and if there has been, she can tell us who did that. There's no consideration of vulnerability. There's been no risk benefit analysis. Okay. So like Frances has not considered what the harms are here. Okay. By just showing up at, university campuses near Indian residential schools and seeking out survivors and then, terrorizing and traumatizing them with these questions that they're not prepared for. So she hasn't considered the harms associated with that. And there's also no consideration of FPIC or OCAP. Okay, so FPIC is free, prior, and informed consent. You might be familiar with that. So I do not believe that Frances Widdowson has free, prior, or informed consent from these research participants that she's ambushing and targeting. And I do not believe that Frances Widdowson is trained in OCAP or has any respect or regard for OCAP principles. That's sometimes I forget the C. Ownership, access, possession. Oh, so ownership, control, access, and possession. Okay, so basically, an ethical researcher that is seeking to research vulnerable populations, including Indigenous genocide survivors, would definitely need to engage in a community review of their research. And it is my assumption that that is totally not taking place at all. So like I said, this research she's targeting universities near former residential schools. And she's targeting easy research subjects for her exploitation while excluding them from the benefits of her research. Okay, so the benefits of this research, who knows what she has in mind? But you know that there probably many. You know, like in the short term, clicks on her stupid media. And you know, who knows what else in the and she's acting like some kind of hero, and she's trying to create some kind of base as she's trying to be fake famous. So those are some of the, you know, the short term benefits, and who knows what she has planned for the long term. But anyway, these research participants that she's exploiting, they're going to be excluded from those benefits, chums, and that's unethical. Okay. So she's targeting Indigenous survivors, which is disproportionate burden being placed on a vulnerable group. Okay. So, I mean, they don't have, this is a power imbalance. Okay. These people are not prepared, to deal with somebody like, Frances Widdowson, you know, and her ambush, terrorism and traumatization of, genocide survivors. And so, that is definitely a disproportionate burden, being placed on the vulnerable group. Yep, that's really all I'm going to say about the ethics of this. You know, I also would like to say that, it's my view that Frances Widdowson is also exploiting, the youth. And it's like, I mean, you know, in the beginning of this video, I had mentioned that she was terminated from Mount Royal University in Calgary, Alberta, who really dodged a bullet. It is also my view that the universities and their administrations should be very concerned in Canada about Frances Widdowson and her posse showing up on their campuses and conducting this unethical research on their premises. They should be prepared for such an event, and Frances Widdowson should be removed at any time that she presents herself uninvited to conduct this unethical research by exploiting vulnerable groups, including Indigenous people, genocide survivors, and youth. Thank you for watching.